Hello, Adam. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. I've got 1 or 2 layers of fear on.
Did you bring second pants?
I have more layers of fear I could put on, but not pants.
More layers of pants?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I'm Hayden Dingman from PC World, and we are playing Layers of Fear 2. And this is right at the beginning of the game. We just started a new game here. So I have unfortunately been through this section, and hopefully that means no shrieking into the microphone.
Your character is kind of wobbling a little bit. Is he drunk?
We are on a ship, Adam.
Oh, on a ship.
We are on a collapsing ship here.
That is a nice ship.
Yeah, so the first Layers of Fear came out, I want to say in like 2015. And was one of my favorite horror games of that year.
Oh.
It was about a painter who like was painting his daughter maybe or something. I don't remember. I barely remember the story of it. But it had some very neat stuff in it. Specifically, it was it experimented with this idea that I remember first experiencing in VR with I can't remember the name of that game now, but it was like the one where every time you looked away from something it changed.
It's not the one with the guy's name, not like Jacob's Ladder, but
I can't remember
what's his name. I think I know what you're talking about.
So yeah, that game started that whole like, hey, when you look away everything changes, at least to my mind. And then Layers of Fear took that and like made a full horror game out of it. And so every time that you would like look away in Layers of Fear, it would be like, oh, a door appeared behind you, or I don't know, that door that was there turned into a brick wall.
Are you talking about Wilson's Heart?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking.
No, it was like very early VR.
Oh, interesting.
Toilet flushes, just so you know.
Oh man, I love when toilets flush
also
in
like
video games.
they like went the full. All the sink faucets work here. The bath faucet works.
Hot and cold.
Beautiful. So yeah, that game, whatever that VR game was, I remember doing that idea. And then Layers of Fear turned that into a horror game where you would every time you would walk around, like doors would appear behind you or whatever. And then they made Observer, which I also loved, which was the cyberpunk game with Rutger Hauer as the main character. Now they are back to Layers of Fear 2, and this one takes place on a ship and is about an actor instead of a painter. But it from the little I've played, which is about an hour.
The film on.
Oh, I didn't.
You grabbed it, but you got to.
Yes, there we go.
There you go. Boom.
From the little I've played so far, it's got like a similar vibe of like somebody working on their master work. And the first chapter here is a lot about becoming the actor. And so the thing I liked about Layers of Fear was it just got very strange because of the way that all of the looking away and then something happens stuff worked. And this one like really... it takes the like stage play or like film set motif and does a lot with it, even in the first hour that I've played.
Like fourth wall breaking stuff, or like you're being watched?
No, so like the environments. So like I'm trying to think of like a good example. At one point you're like going through like a film noir section. So like keep in mind like we're
playing out genres. Or
yeah,
something.
like keep in mind we're like on a ship here. And yeah, like this whole first section does a lot with like mannequins, and so like mannequins appearing and disappearing, and then mannequins being used as like stand-ins for actors, and you're like playing the third part. Also, it's worth noting this is all narrated by Tony Todd of Candyman fame. Which is a disturbing voice to hear over the top of any horror game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have this like weird avant-garde film thing here, and then I'm really loving the these title screens, which are just like beautiful. It's all got this like very nice like faux Titanic era aesthetic to it. And so you'll remember, like, we came in this door a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's like a
no,
different
that is
location
different.
entirely out here.
But we're still on the ship.
Yeah, so
yeah,
we're
okay.
on the ship for now, and there are tons of collectibles and stuff that aid in the story here.
And it's not the Titanic.
No, it is not the Titanic. But there are tons of these collectibles around here. We're probably going to ignore most of them because we're not here to listen to. It's mostly just like voiceover over like an object or whatever.
So are you like picking up keys and solving puzzles like
sort of
Resident Evil or something?
but it's mostly just like traversal stuff, to be honest. So yeah, like here we've got like a guy talking over this creepy mannequin doll.
Yeah.
And so he's like talking about the director of this movie that you're in. And so all of that stuff is like useful if you're actually going to play this game, but we are mostly here to just show it off.
It's really pretty.
It's very pretty,
Yeah,
which was also true of Observer also. And this is like not a huge, they still have like the worst studio name in my mind. It's a Bloober Team.
Blooper?
Bloober with a B.
Bloober? Huh.
Yeah.
Like blubber?
Yeah,
Or
kind
bloober?
of. Yeah, it's like Bloober, but yeah, they're not a huge team to my knowledge. And this like looks like
It's a lot of art assets.
yeah, like a full nice AAA game. So
As of right now, how far are you?
I'm only like an hour and a half.
Okay.
I'm not much further than this first chapter.
Got it.
I started it last night.
Do you have any sense of how long it is? Because
No, I think the first one was about 7 hours though. It was like decently long. It was longer than I
okay.
expected. And the first one looked phenomenal as well. For this budget of game.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of budget, this is a $30 game.
Yeah, this is a mid-tier release.
Yeah.
But yeah, this so far it has looked beautiful, and the stuff that they do has been again like very creative.
And it's running pretty well on this machine. How about your machine at home?
Yeah, it's running fine at mine at home too. 1080 Ti at home, and I think it went 2080 Ti in here. Is that correct?
No, these have dual 1080 Ti's.
Oh, dual 1080 Ti's. So yeah, it's just a very pretty game. But yeah, we're gonna skip most of this. There are like doors. Some of these doors open. I can't remember which ones. But
this swaying side to side, like I don't get
is
motion
that
sick.
is that killing you?
Nah, not really, but like I could see it really throwing some people off.
Yeah, and I've already turned off. They have a head bob also, and I turned that off because that's the one that always makes me sick still.
Interesting.
So I did not want the swaying plus
like
the
double
head
duty.
bob. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you like horror games then?
Yeah, and especially like so the thing about these horror games is a lot of it is just atmosphere. Like that's what I liked about the original Layers of Fear, and is what I've liked about this one so far. It is not like a I don't know, like a Five Nights at Freddy's or something.
Like jump scares?
Yeah, like there are a couple jump scares, but like not a ton of them. And there are a lot of like I'm trying to think, like it's not like a Resident Evil either where it's like constant combat or anything. But it's also not like Amnesia where you're just like constantly hiding, because that's the other stuff that like I used to really love. Penumbra and Amnesia and those types of games. But having played now just a ton of Penumbra and Amnesia and Soma, right? That was the third one that studio did. I kind of got tired of the like, hey, we're gonna like, there's a conveniently placed closet every 5 feet, and you're gonna just hide in there until you get out. But this one is more just like an atmosphere. Like it's like a psychological horror game where
you almost just want to take your time and just like look at everything.
Yeah, and so like I spent like this whole scene happened with the flashing lights and stuff. But I spent like 10 minutes last night looking at this. It's called a Wheaton tape. That's what this tape down at the bottom is. Is it
Morse code?
It's a Morse code thing. And I don't know if this is not actually like the system that Wheaton tape used back in the day. So I couldn't parse it out. I'm sure somebody will break the code at some point. So I spent like 10 minutes just typing random Morse code things in here.
You were trying to
crack the code, trying to
see
see if there was like actually a thing on there, but I couldn't figure it out. So somebody hopefully will figure that out at some point. But I was like, I had Wikipedia open on another screen. I was like really going for it.
Oh,
so
that's fun.
Yeah, like I just think that they do a great job with attention to detail, and then just like manipulating your expectations in neat ways. So like this was a good one last night. So I came in here, opened up the chest, all that, found whatever this was, walked through. There's a bathroom.
Flush the toilet.
They all flush.
Yes.
Picked up this thing,
That's a slide?
which is a slide, which you can bring those back to the main area. There's a couple of collectibles that
Got
all go back in that main area. Oh, there's no passageway back anymore. So like that was like one of the first like, oh Jesus.
That was subtle too. I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't even.
And so that's the thing is like you can go back into that original room and there's just like there's a wall there now.
Wait, so did you miss something? Was there something in the bathroom?
No, not to my knowledge, but like that's the sort of like just weirdly unsettling. And
just
like
for no reason.
And
It
this
was
door
just-
cracked open over here and then slammed shut. So it's a lot of like stuff like that that's like subtle weird.
Huh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this bottle rolls out from under the bed. And like none of it is like threatening. There's no there is like one chase sequence at the end of this chapter that we're not gonna get all the way there. But like it's like that sort of like weirdly unsettling stuff that I find really interesting about their games because it's not relying on just like the usual horror tropes. It's a lot of
Like psychological messing with your mind.
yeah, and it's a cool like it's stuff that like only video games can really do, right? It's like you could kind of do it in a movie, but it wouldn't work as well. And so this is another one. As we like walk through here, that vase falls off the table, and I was like, okay. And then this was like a trick they used a lot in the original game. You walk through, and like it's the same room that you were just in. And so like we have now walked through that door twice, and then you come in again, and now you just entered from the other side
Oh, that's.
to the same room, and now there's this creepy mask here.
Oh.
And like pick up the mask, the vase falls off and shatters. So like there's a lot of that sort of stuff that's just it's uniquely video game horror.
Yeah.
It's stuff that only works because it manipulates the way that you as the player understand the space, which is like a thing that games don't really get into very often. Like usually, for a long time, I feel like horror games were just like, here's a creepy house or whatever.
Yeah.
But like it was very much like a take on, like traditional film horror. And this game is much more about like, hey, how can we like manipulate this space in interesting ways that like the player will understand? So like we've walked to that door, you come back and like try to open that door, nothing happens. I think all the lights go out, the vase or this like globe explodes basically.
Oh, wow.
And then over here, there's another door. So just interesting stuff that.
This is cool.
And then if you notice, so we just went through a third door, and we're back in that room that we were just in. But now there's different items on the table. So yeah, just like really neat stuff that pays off if you're really paying attention. And then we're playing through, as I said, the very beginning of this game. I don't know how far in we are, but I don't know, 15 minutes or whatever. So there's a creepy voice. We're only like 15 minutes in. It gets way more wild as we go. I think we're about to hit the first mannequin sequence right here.
No.
This is a
an eye patch.
What?
this sandbag falls from the roof because it's a theater, right? And then we have a code up here for this lock, which took me a bit the first time through. But yeah, there's neat some light puzzle solving like that. Nothing too difficult. Some collectibles.
What about sound design and music?
It's all really good. It's there's actually a warning at the beginning to use headphones because it's binaural audio, so you get like
no way.
crazy
Good.
back and forth stuff.
Great.
But yeah, so here we have our first mannequin.
No.
You have a mannequin phobia, Adam?
Just not a huge fan.
Well, you're really not going to like this game because this is some condemned levels of mannequins.
Condemned. That's what I was trying to remember. I was like, condemned, man.
Yeah, they love the mannequins in this game so far. So yeah, here we have like this slight puzzle where we have to get that little. It's like a stage marker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to
to hit the mark.
You have to hit the mark with the chair, which is actually a little fiddly, I found. I had to do it. I had to go around like 4 times last night trying to get the thing lined up.
Interesting.
But it's cool. Like you can hear the audio.
Yeah. Like scrubbing.
Yeah. So there's like some neat stuff with that already. In the first game, there was like a neat sequence where you would like play a record and a whole room would collapse. So that was like one of the big audio moments in that game. This one I haven't seen a huge audio moment yet, but I've enjoyed the music, especially they have that scratchy like the scratchy BioShock type turntable stuff going on where it's just like haunting.
I think that's why the splicers scared me so much in BioShock, because they were kind of mannequin-esque.
And so yeah, like you can see we're getting into like stage direction, choreography stuff here.
Wow.
We've got this Burning Mannequin over here.
Burning Man.
Burning Man, everybody's favorite.
Burning Man,
San Francisco. And then
okay.
And so now you'll notice we're back where we came in. We like teleported back, and now the mannequin's not on fire.
And look at your markings; they're all over.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Oh, it's like directing you.
It's directing you where to go. And so
all roads lead to this door.
So yeah, as I said, there's like a ton of backstory that we're just skipping because we're not picking all these things up. But there's like a whole subplot going on right now about like some, I want to say like your sister maybe, or like a childhood friend.
I just saw a shadow. Did you see that shadow?
Yeah, there's shadows everywhere, buddy. They're all mannequins.
Yeah.
We all float down here or whatever.
No. Clowns, man. That'll. If there's a clown in this, I ain't playing it.
I'm hoping to get us. There's like a moment where it's like coming right up, I think, where you get into like some real stage set design type stuff with like this fake pirate, this fake pirate theme that they're going for right now, which is like why we have a spyglass and all that. Yeah, I think it's. That's just like a telegraph room. Yeah, it's right over here. So you can see like now we're in this weird rigging and stuff, and there's like fake water, which is made out of like packing materials. You can see like if you go look at these, it's like the packing materials being repurposed.
That's pretty cool.
And so as we come in here, there's like this whole stage set.
Whoa.
With this guy chilling here. We got the
you can just leave him alone.
The fake water, and the captain's wheel. And you turn that, and then all the waves start moving. And so that's what I mean. They do a lot with this like stage stuff. This is the first one in this game that I've seen. But the further in that I've gone, like as I said, there's a film noir one later on in this level. There's a whole section where you're like trying to get out of spotlights or trying to avoid spotlights.
Whoa.
And so that one was like a really fascinating one. You're like running between hallways trying to stay out of the light. And then, the chase sequence at the end. So, that seems like a good place to cut it for now.
Yeah, just leave that mannequin be. He's just doing.
No,
his own
you
thing.
Don't like this buddy.
Yeah, he can just sit there.
Look at him. He's like a friendly little mannequin.
As long as he doesn't move, he
looks like he went through a fire or something,
or almost crash test on me.
And so that's Layers of Fear 2.
All right.
I would recommend it based only on the hour that I've played so far, which is admittedly a wild way to recommend games. There's a whole black and white motif as you go through. It's a maybe not the most responsible way to recommend games, but I thought the first one was like one of the most overlooked horror games of that period, whatever, 3-4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then Observer was on our Game of the Year list whenever that came out.
Yeah, I still want to get to
I
it.
think 2017 was Observer. And so I'm pretty sure, oh yeah, this is a be ready to go back. And sure enough, as you head back to where you came in, everything changes. So yeah, I think it's really cool. The stuff that it does with space and the way that it lulls you into a false sense of security, I think is really fascinating.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll.
I dig it.
I think we can end here with the beginning of the film noir section, if I remember correctly. There's the bank with two mannequins, one shot the other. So
Yeah.
yeah, Adam, are you gonna play? Are you gonna overcome your fear of mannequins?
I really wanted to play Observer. Maybe I'll do that one first.
So yeah, this is a $30 game, as Adam said.
Boom.
Layers of Fear 2, and it is out on, I want to say May 28th. That sounds like the correct date.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, thanks Adam for putting up with the mannequins.
Yeah. Hey, looking forward to your full review.
Yeah, same. Talk to you soon, Adam.
See ya. Boo.